There's never been a better time to market your business, thanks to some amazing advances in software and hardware. You can now do things that used to be only available to businesses with really big marketing budgets. And one of those things was to effectively manage your customers' experience thanks to CRMs. CR what? Exactly. Well, join me as I demystify the now very accessible world of customer relationship management. CRM. Okay? Okay. Before we get stuck into today's episode number 394 of the Small Business Big Marketing Show, the Marketing Gold is made possible thanks to Prosper and American Express. Prosper, Prospa, is Australia's #1 online lender to small businesses. You can quickly apply online for loans up to $250,000, get a fast decision and, in most cases, receive the funding in under 24 hours. Give them a buzz, 1300 882 867, and tell them Timbo sent you. And you got to love the American Express Business Explorer credit card. It comes with a 50,000 points bonus every year, a low interest rate, and 2 points on every dollar you spend. Not to mention a couple of tickets to the Amex Lounge at Sydney International Airport, which is rather swish. The lounge, not the airport. Terms and conditions apply, but you knew that. Search Amex Business to find out more.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid, but you, infinitely more importantly, are a motivated business owner ready to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Big show today, as per usual. You and I are going to catch up with Jeremy Smith from Salesforce, one of those whiz-bang CRM tools that can freak a lot of small business owners out, but which are in fact not as hard to use as you may think. We are going to demystify CRM. I'll show you how to make your voicemail greeting a whole lot more effective. And we go back into the vault, revisiting a chat I had with a couple of Gen Yers who decided that used coffee beans would make a great body scrub, and that sex was the best way to sell it. Oh yeah. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
Do you need a speaker for your next conference? Recommend Timbo to your event organiser, or better still, book him. Tim Reid, that's reid.com.au.
You and I are going to be meeting some amazing business owners and marketers over the coming weeks. We're going to catch up with 15-year-old Will Death, a toy importing entrepreneur who's well on his way to buying his first house. In fact, he's actually ready. The bank have just sort of said, grow up. Well, get a bit older. And a brow threading bar founder. Yeah, those brow threading bars, they're popping up everywhere. Who in the space of just 2 years has opened up 29 stores around Perth. We're going to find out how he and his wife have done it. That brings us to today's guest, Jeremy Smith. He's the Vice President, the VP, of Marketing Cloud at Salesforce, which is one of the world's leading CRM tools. Now, if you already don't know what I'm talking about, then all the more reason to listen in. Or maybe you've heard the term CRM, but acted as if you knew exactly what it was to avoid embarrassment. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I know those are CRMs. Got one myself. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And it's a software tool laser focused on providing the best possible experience for your precious customers, which is something we all want to provide, right? Helping you manage them from the moment they come in to contact with your business to well after they've bought from you. Used properly, a CRM tool like Salesforce can be an inquiry generating, customer experience management, complaint handling, sales closing machine. I mean, quite an amazing tool. To that end, it's time to demystify them so that next time when someone asks you how you manage your sales and marketing efforts, you can confidently look them in the eye and say, yeah, I've got a CRM. Yeah, want to see it? Now, Salesforce have recently released a report titled Digital Opportunities for Small Business, which uncovers what's holding many business owners back from creating effective online marketing. I think in reading it, your head may well be nodding. Jeremy and I discuss some of these key blockages and then go on to talk about the main benefits of a CRM system like Salesforce. I started off by asking Jeremy, what's his favourite gadget?
Oh, it's a tough one. Really into drones at the minute. I think that's, I don't know, they just add a whole different dynamic to photography, videos, those kind of things, like the kind of stuff you can do with drones. I mean, everyone's massive on Instagram with pictures and filters and all those kind of things. And drones just, I don't know, they just take a whole elevate experience.
I hope they make them less noisy.
Yep.
Because there is that amazing video, I don't know whether you've seen it, where Amazon are delivering product in Seattle to like the front of someone's garage.
Yeah.
But, if we have a sky full of drones, I don't know. We'll see where that goes.
I think we might have a firing squad taking them down at the same time.
Now, I'm pretty excited about today's chat because as someone who is passionate about helping small business owners grow, I think for many years they've struggled with this whole concept around CRM, hate acronyms, but we'll go customer relationship management tools.
Yep.
And I'm really excited to demystify that because I think they deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that start to adopt this incredible technology or software, the better for everyone.
Yep.
Yeah? It's a great way to grow a business. So hence why we're here. So let's talk about this report, Digital Opportunities for Today's Small Businesses. And it's got some pretty interesting findings.
Yep, huge amounts of stats in there, great findings, some really enlightening results, actually.
Some of it kind of, you go, yeah, I knew that.
Yep.
Others you go, really? Still?
Yep.
Let's look at some of the key ones that kind of made me go, wow. 70% of SMEs have none or just a basic system to manage sales, marketing and customer service information. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's a big challenge and it's a very hot topic for all SMEs. I mean, when you look at the tech industry, it's done one thing, and that's for sure. It's removed the barrier to entry for many companies. So all small businesses can now get into business relatively inexpensively. They can do fantastic things that enterprise companies are doing, but let's be honest, there's so much tech available today. And that's the real challenge.
Yes. So the barrier to entry of business generally, I mean, as I was saying to you before we hit record, I mean, I've just interviewed a 15-year-old toy importing entrepreneur.
Yeah,
I mean,
great story.
Amazing story. and so the barriers are lower. It doesn't mean, though, that you are necessarily any good at running a business. So this whole concept of basic systems or no systems, what are you seeing? Is it like people coming in with Excel spreadsheets and scrawled notes on paper?
Yeah, I mean, that's normally the iteration of when people need to mature up to a CRM or, a platform like ours. They generally run everything out of Excel spreadsheets to start with. It gets to a certain point in growing pains when you obviously need to adopt technology to help you, I suppose, grow, have a more scalable business. And a lot of things, I mean, I like to concentrate on when we look at technology and we look at, how it can empower employees within an organisation. Because you've got to understand, if someone's using an Excel sheet, it's limiting how productive they can be throughout the day.
Totally.
So if someone coming in, and I know if one company has a CRM and one company doesn't, the employees are going to be more productive, more happy in their work. So it also has that benefit, which a lot of people, miss out when they're actually looking at technology as a whole.
I have an Excel sheet phobia. I don't know if there's a word for that, but they freak me out. But I tell you what, I mean, I can reflect on years ago starting out in my own business where I'd get someone's email address and I'd quickly I'd put it into a column and then I'd go, I better have another column about when I last spoke to them and maybe, and remind me, what football team did they barrack for, and try to build up this profile. I mean, I actually think I've still got that Excel spreadsheet. can you frame Excel spreadsheets? I don't know, but boy, oh boy, I mean, the reality is, what have you got? 70% still in that space.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that is an interesting point you bring up around Excels and adding that, we call it progressive profiling over time. So adding,
hang on, progressive pro.
There we are.
Careful on those big
terms.
There's
a buzzwords for you. But
I need a sound effect.
The adding individual bits of information about someone over time. So whether it be their email, first name, where they live, their household income, those kind of things. We always need to pivot back to what's going to be the customer experience at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter how big you are, it needs to go back to the customer's now in control of everything. It doesn't matter whether you're a small company or a large enterprise. They dictate when they want to be communicated to and how they want to be communicated to.
Yeah.
So if you have that information, you need to use it. That's just one thing I would, as a takeaway for today. I think that's probably a really important point.
Well, fantastic, because customer experience, and you'll be around the 394th or something business owner or person that I've spoken to, and customer experience is one of those things that links successful business owners. They get it.
Yep.
They get that the customer is pivotal to their business, and they provide experiences that make the customer go wow, make the customer go and talk to others about that business and get excited. That's what you want. You want to be a shareable business.
Yeah.
Another finding in this report, 22% report using personalised marketing only. So what does the report define as personalised marketing, and why so few?
Well, I think people, when you're starting out in any sort of marketing initiative, you need to look at what the end goal is. So a lot of people get really bogged down in that they have to offer the Amazon of the world. So when you receive, I don't know, just say an email from Amazon, it's, here's what you purchased previously, Jeremy, here's all the other recommendations. Now, Amazon have been working on that for, many, many years to get that right. They have huge marketing teams, huge data science teams to make all of that a reality for them. So a lot of SMEs get bogged down and say, well, we're never going to be able to achieve that. It's just too hard. But just respecting, back to the point earlier, what data someone has actually given you. So if someone has said to you, here is the product category I'm interested in. You, as a brand, may offer 10 different product categories. Just make sure that the content you're delivering is in that product category. Because a lot of companies just disrespect someone's wishes, and they're, they put their hand up and they have an interaction with you as a brand. If you don't respect that wish, then they will go somewhere else. And I have this saying that, people are loyal to an experience. They're no longer loyal to a brand. So if you're not offering the best customer experience and you're not respecting what they've given you as data, then they're going to go somewhere else. I mean, that's the reality of it. But it's just the complication. People over-index on how much personalisation should be within a communication to a customer.
You talk about Amazon, and they've got big warehouses full of people who are just literally creating this personalised marketing that's off the charts. What I love about today's marketing landscape is that it's changed so much, and the tools that Amazon are using are now, the kind of stuff they're doing in their marketing is now available to the smaller business owner, to the vet or the plumber.
Yep.
Not at the same level necessarily, but we can get a lot more personalised these days, correct?
Yeah, technology has removed the barrier to entry for a lot of companies, and a lot of what's great about software companies and companies like Salesforce is that they offer the same tools to every single customer. So it doesn't matter whether you're a small business or an enterprise, you have the same access to the same level of tools, and they're at your fingertips. So you can basically create communications out to your customers the same as Amazon would if you really wanted to. And, the advancements in AI and all of these wonderful other terms, artificial intelligence that everyone's talking about, just makes things a lot easier for everyone.
I think, we go back to that first stat of 70% having just a basic system of management and talking, you're talking about AI and all this fancy stuff. Maybe one of the things that's stopping the average small business owner is that it does sound a little bit scary. It sounds confusing. Clearly we're here to demystify that, and we'll get there. But I think up until now, and me included, is that looking at these CRM systems, it's like, wow, that's a Lambo, that's a Lamborghini, and I only need a Holden, right? But what you're saying is there is the opportunity to utilise some aspects for your business and leave the fancy stuff alone for the time being as you get better at it, right?
Yep. Let's look at Prosper. Prosper are a great company. They, sponsor your show, which is fantastic.
Like
I have a lot of good friends over at Prosper. So they started out. They offer small and medium size loans to businesses over a 12-month period. Yeah. Their growth is exponential. They're going gangbusters at the moment. They're really great company to work with. They started off really small. So they started off in the sales side of things. So how do they give their sales reps the ability to track all of their transactions they're doing with their customers? But they started off with a very small instance of that. Then as they've grown over time, because it's a scalable platform and product through a CRM, they've added on, more sales reps. They've added on the ability to serve customers through one interface. And in looking to the future, they've now looked at how they can improve their marketing to actually bring more leads into their system, to offer their customers more information on the types of loans that they could have. And really look at that entire customer journey. But they started out really small with us, but now they're growing.
What I've noticed about Prosper too is that despite their growth, and it's exponential growth they're experiencing, is that the way they communicate with you is still very personal.
Yeah,
it feels like you're dealing with someone of a similar size, which is kind of nice. And again, that's what the modern marketing world allows.
Yeah, and that's going back to the data. I mean, they use the system to capture all of that data on someone, and they respect the individual, and they will use that data to personalise communications to them. So whether it be in an email, or if someone has a service issue they might want to contact Prosper about, maybe it's a settlement, maybe it's a collections issue, or they have an issue with their application, the rep on Prosper's end knows everything about them because they have one view and they know that data.
Do you know, one of my favourite definitions of marketing is it's what you can do when you can't go and see somebody. Because in an ideal world, what we would do is we'd get up out of our chairs and we'd go and visit every single person, prospect, customer that could potentially do business with us, right?
Yep.
We'd sit down, have a chat. What's your problems? How can we help? But time, of course, doesn't allow for that.
Yep.
But now we can have a similar conversation at a personal level through some of this technology. So that's exciting in itself. The report, another thing that astounded me, the top 4 strategies for achieving growth involve working with existing customers. So here we have a whole lot of business, and I think it was a sample of 500 SMEs in Australia and New Zealand. So we've got the top 4 strategies. They're mining existing customers. Not a bad thing. But what would be stopping them from looking over the fence to new customers?
Well, I think if you look at our business, we're only successful when our customers are successful. I mean, that's how Salesforce has built its company and built its huge ecosystem that we have. And we want to empower our customers to do better things and service their customers better. But if you look at a great local use case, Amasim. So Amasim started out as a mobile provider. They started out, and their vision is to empower customers to better manage their household services. So more recently, they've actually diversified and they've added on different product lines. So they started out with mobile, now they've added on broadband, they've added on energy, and they've added on devices. So within their annual report, and this is all public, that one of their main strategies is, to go after subscriber growth. So they want new customers through the door. But they've realised that actually there is a huge opportunity in share of wallet. So now they're actually working out how they can utilise their existing base that they have and start selling into energy and broadband to, empower people to better manage their household.
Okay.
So that's, they're a really good company.
So this is not necessarily a bad thing, this finding. What you're saying is that a customer like Amasim or these businesses that are saying the top 4 strategies, we're focusing on existing customers, they're trying to own more of the value chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also offering the customer, you got to think, and it's the same as tech. It's something why we've built the company that we've built, is that it's very confusing. I mean, if you look at the amount of technology that's available, if companies are able to say, hey, is that requirement and need, and we'll grow with you, and, these are all the other products over time when you're ready and you need to. You don't need to go to 50 different providers and work out how it all connects together.
Yeah, fair
and that's
enough.
the same for Amasim.
Face-to-face transactions are on the decrease. What's we all coming to? I mean, I get it. Nothing beats a bit of face-to-face action, but yeah. So what's the implication then for businesses?
I think it helps them. I mean, I personally like to transact with people face-to-face. But
that's why I like doing an interview face-to-face. I think it leads to, hopefully, a better conversation.
It's great. I mean, I wouldn't have the opportunity to come down to Melbourne today in the bright sunshine and leave my home city of Sydney in the rain today. But, but saying that, I like other things to be easy. I think the mundane tasks, I would just like to be not face-to-face. So I have a car insurance with Bingle. I don't have to speak to anyone. Doesn't matter if I'm moving house, if I'm changing car, I just go online and update my details, don't have to speak to anyone. I think that's fantastic. But there are other purchases that, you need to make, and you need to have that face-to-face relationship. Mortgage advisors, if you want to do loans, if you want to go and buy a car, you need that interaction, you need that physical experience. But advancements in technology have enabled us to still offer that highly personalised experience for a customer, and that's important. You know, when you speak to someone face to face, it is highly engaging. You can feel the emotion with someone, and with all of the advancements today, you can still have that in a digital landscape. It's not missing.
So this is where a CRM, and we'll get into the kind of some of the key applications of a CRM tool, but this is where these tools, this software comes into its own right, where you can, as a customer, feel as though that company is really kind of talking just to me.
Yep. So, I mean, if you look at through marketing, through sales, when you initially do a transaction with someone, that's why we say, you know, these things can't operate in silo from one another. They have to be all on the same playing field. So when you look at, you know, you might sell someone something, you might market to them, but when you actually phone the service centre, how many times have you phoned someone and they have no idea who you are?
Yeah,
or
I know.
what promotion you were just given, or you've been passed from one person to another and there's no, you know, handover of, you know, or courtesy for Tim to actually.
Get me started.
So it's a frustrating thing, right? I mean, that's the reality of it, and that's not a personalised experience. So sometimes it's easier to just go and see that person.
And they're the big guys.
Yep. It's a challenge, and I think the perception around, you know, small businesses have a somewhat disadvantage in that. It's the same with the big guys as well. The difference with small businesses is that they have the ability and the agility to change things quickly.
Yeah.
They have the ability to fail fast and improve. Big organisations can take them 6 months, 12 months to get to a decision to then do something, which then doesn't work.
That's why we love small business, Jeremy.
Yep, that is it.
That's why this show exists. One last finding on this report: 30% of SMEs are confident their marketing is working. Good, but find it hard determining which strategies provide the best ROI.
Yep.
Why would that be?
I think for me, when I've been in this industry for 10, 11 years now, one of the main things that I see all the time is that companies don't decide what it is they're actually trying to achieve. They just think, let's just go into business, let's send marketing out, let's do, you know, all this sales programs, and we'll just see what happens. But it's really hard to actually track what's actually working for them. Like in my world, I run a sales team. So for me, I know that there are different levers I can pull at different times in the year to increase, you know, lead flow within the system, or I can enable my guys to be better at talking about certain products, therefore we'll sell more products. But there has to be an overall goal to that. So
can I just? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got another mate who talks in the world of levers, and I find it fascinating because I'm a visual guy, and I go, wow. So hang on, you've got a lever that can open up more prospects to your business. It's like,
I wish it was as easy as that, but
it does. I mean, you have the ability to do that thanks to the system you've got, the CRM system you've got set up.
yeah, I mean, we can look at trends of what people are doing. We can pull subsets of customers to say, hey, these are best for this product set. In my head, we probably should be doing that every day anyway.
Sure.
But the reality is, you know, life goes on, and there's more demanding things within your day-to-day role, and you know, people. It's just the way it is. So I think these levers that I have are, you know, not physical levers, but in my head, they're things that we can pull if we need to accelerate and put a bit more gas on.
I think this finding of the 30% who just kind of trying to figure out what marketing is working, they don't have dashboards. I mean, some of the successful business owners I speak to have these things called dashboards where, you know, you've got the key kind of figures, measurements that go, you know what, if that's up, then we're doing okay. And they can literally, within the click of a finger, figure out where their business is at.
Yep.
So, again, a CRM tool allows for that.
Yep, it would do all of those kind of wonderful things, pulling all the, you know, giving you the power in your hands to make decisions on the fly, report in real time. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do my job without CRM. I would literally be in the dark.
Well, we've raised a few problems. Let's find a solution. We're talking to Jeremy Smith, who is the VP, the Vice President of the Marketing Cloud at Salesforce. This is an impressive title, the Marketing Cloud. I think I've been on that a few times. So CRM, customer relationship management software, tool, technology, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
There's a lot out there. Now, I've been using a basic. I mean, I started years ago with MailChimp.
Yep.
Right. I've used Aweber, ActiveCampaign. These are CRM tools, correct? Basic email marketing.
Email marketing tools, yeah.
They allow for a little bit more than that, but then you've got something like a Salesforce, which really, really opens up the world to you. But for some, could be a little bit confusing. So just explain what a tool like Salesforce can do. And let's maybe break it down into the top 5 applications.
So, I mean, let's go back to when Salesforce was first created. We were, how do we make CRM, but how do we actually help salespeople to be empowered to do more within their job? So initially started out as this is just designed for salespeople. How do they enter their information about prospects? How do they follow up on leads? How do they manage that relationship with their actual customers? Then over time, we added on service, which was, the ability to raise cases, support cases, if you like. And then more recently, we added on Marketing Cloud. There's a lot of other products in our remit, but lack of confusing the audience, we added on marketing because we believe that, in this world where, you would use MailChimp, that's very siloed marketing. So if I had an issue with your company, Tim, I would then have to phone someone which wouldn't be connected to your marketing.
Well, I had, Zendesk, which was another software tool completely unrelated to MailChimp, where that was an opportunity for people to raise a ticket.
Yeah, and it's a confusing thing. But if I had to contact you and say, hey, Tim, you sent me this fantastic email, love the promotion on it, tell me a little bit more about it, and you're the service rep on your end, you wouldn't be able to tell me because you don't have that holistic view. That's the biggest issue that we as a company, as Salesforce, have tried to solve for people, and that's across sales, service, and marketing. They don't exist in silos; they exist together.
Yeah, okay.
So we're really trying to, and that doesn't matter if you're a large enterprise or a small business. I came through a company which was called ExactTarget. So Salesforce acquired ExactTarget, and we were at that stage the Marketing Cloud. Because Salesforce needed Marketing Cloud to offer that holistic view of a customer experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's say I always say vets and plumbers are listening. I don't mean literally, but lots of different small business owners are listening to this show. They're going, you know what? A bit like what Timbo says. I've been doing a bit of email marketing. I've got a support ticket software. I've got live chat on my website, but they're all these disparate software things, and I'm paying for them all. It's all software as a service.
Yep.
It'd be lovely to bring them all into the one place. I've got a holistic view. Where do they start? What would be the first thing if they say, what Salesforce sounds pretty good?
Yep.
What would be the first thing that they could sort of plug into?
Well, I think probably to pick up the phone and get in contact. But short of that,
we're working through. Customer inquiries.
Yep.
is an application, a feature of Salesforce.
Yeah.
How can that benefit a business?
Well, I think the first thing is that with customer inquiries is the biggest thing that SMEs will face is it's going to be a scale issue straight away. That's what they're going to, in their heads, they're going to get ahead of themselves and say, well, I have hundreds and thousands of, inquiries. If I buy a system where how does it process those and how does it automatically respond to people in terms of inquiries? And with the data in the system, we can route all the different things based on the importance of the case itself. So if something's high urgent, or you might be able to, we'd recommend that people always set up knowledge portals on their website, as an example.
Oh, yeah.
So you can actually move a lot of your support queries through to your website.
Love that.
So common questions with our system, you can actually analyze the types of cases you're getting. So if it's all around knowledge base all the time, or it's, hey, I'm logged out of the system, or I'm having issues with my billing, what are the steps I need to go to? Or you've just bought a new product and I don't know how it works. By spending a bit of time and actually setting up a knowledge base to, direct all of your customers to that knowledge base, and more of a self-service type of service inquiry.
I love the knowledge base thing. I talk about it in my book, The Boomerang Effect, where every business should have one.
Yeah.
Go and identify every single question you've ever been asked as a business and set about answering it. Not a long FAQ page.
No.
But it's almost like a resource library where one question, one very rich, useful answer, helpful answer per page.
Yep.
And then something like Salesforce can direct people with inquiries to the right page in the knowledge base, right?
Yeah, we call it communities. And the good thing about knowledge base is you can actually add on that, and if you wanted to, you could open it up to your customer base. So they could actually ask each other questions about things.
Can I just be clear there? Does Salesforce have a plugin called Knowledge Base that allows you to set that up?
We have a thing called communities.
Communities.
So communities is where people can exactly do that. You can create a knowledge base, and you can even open it up to people to engage with each other. So if you think of someone like TripAdvisor, for example, Obviously a big company, but I think most people, before they go on holiday, they will go on TripAdvisor and look at the hotel, look at the resort they're going to. It's basically that. So it offers all of this additional information that the actual resort will provide themselves, but it also gives you great insights from all other customers who have been there before. You're obviously going to get people who are pessimistic about these things sometimes. I mean, when I went to the Maldives, I did a review and we were staying in a beautiful water bungalow. And one of the reviews was it's too noisy at night time, which, you know, you need to half take a different lens through that sometimes. But
hate that ocean crashing noise.
Yeah, I've gone all the way to an island resort, but I don't like the ocean. It's a very strange one. But yeah, I mean, opening it up and letting customers engage with one another. A lot of people think, well, that's a little bit dangerous. But if you're pointing them in the right direction, it's and you're using the data that you've been given within all the different services cases to point them in that direction, a lot of people are quite happy to self-serve in service.
And I think customers these days realise, I mean, you're right, you hear that feedback, oh, it's too noisy. Well, I'll make the value judgment of whether it's too noisy or not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I see that on TripAdvisor all the time, you know. So to be clear, that those communities, can they plug in to a business's existing website? Yes.
Yep, 100%.
That's really good.
Yeah. So it's basically taking all the information you know about a customer, so within the CRM, whether it be sales or service, and actually surfacing it to your customer base.
Okay.
So it's when you look at that in scaling customer service, that's one of your avenues. The other one is social media. So you're going to get a lot of information from, you know, the social channels. People like to go and vent their frustration on social channels. So you need to be there listening and engaging with those customers as well. But likewise, that can then, you know, raise support cases within the service center and Service Cloud on our side. And it's just that, back to that whole entire holistic view.
How does that work?
Journey.
Just explain that, because that's exciting. So what you're saying is a business has got a Facebook page, they get a complaint, a CRM tool like Salesforce. How does it see that complaint?
Yeah, I'll try and demystify it for you. So exactly your story. So I could go onto Facebook and, you know, I could raise an issue with a company. And that company would then have someone with half of it would maybe automated, so it'd be common questions that are asked. So within our system, if someone writes a question, it works out the keywords within that question and it can reply with an answer that it thinks it's correct. If there isn't a common answer for that question, it will then automatically route that question into Service Cloud and create a case. And then a service rep will be able to contact that customer and engage with them on the social channel. Because I think it's important, if someone raises their hand on a social channel, it's the method that they want to be engaged on. So you need to respect that medium. But likewise, again, you can then tie that back and send them to a community after you've dealt with their complaint and say, hey, next time, did you know we have a community where there's a lot of questions that are answered by our staff and also a lot of other customers. So it's all, technology is amazing now, like the ability to do that's outstanding.
I'm like, that is amazing. It feels like, is that easy? I'm just going to be so naive in asking this. Is that easy to set up? And do I all of a sudden need a whole new team of people to manage this?
No, that's a common thing as well around, you know, if I set up and I have 1,000 inquiries on social, how do I manage that? You know, I've got 3 people in my team. And back to the point earlier, probably not an actual stat that, you know, we've done extensive research on, but I would say probably 80 or 90% of your customer inquiries can be handled automatically. So in an automated fashion, because a lot of them,
in a personalised sense, but automated.
Yeah. So I mean, it's, you know, this is a common inquiry. We look at the keywords within our system. It would take initially saying, hey, what are the 10 or 20 most common asked questions within you know, our inquiry board or on social media networks, and what is always the answer, or what is the knowledge article that we can point someone to. So a lot of that is automated. Once that's set up, you can pretty much almost forget about it. And it's the other, you know, 10 or 20% of people where you actually need that you know, that one-to-one interaction on a phone, or whether it by email, or whether you're actually responding as a individual on social mediums.
Wow.
So a lot of it can be automated. That's the beauty of tech where we're heading. It's, you know, it's all automated now. You set it up, the rest takes care of itself.
Well, automated and personalised. I'm always going to come back to personalised. Automated's great.
Yep.
Means you don't have to be there and you can get on with doing what you do best, and you know, but as long as it's personalised, and by the sounds of it, even simple things like addressing the person by name, or acknowledging the question. Yeah.
So again, that's back to the data around, you know, people. If you're not using the data, if you just say thanks for your inquiry, this is a knowledge article. Does that person feel like you've actually connected with them?
Yeah.
And back to, people are loyal to an experience. They're not loyal to a brand.
Yeah.
So if the experience is not great, then, it's not going to do your brand any favours.
Got it. List building is another feature of a CRM tool like Salesforce. I say to every small business, build a list, because the reality is, as a small business owner, they've all got websites, or most of them have got websites. People will go to that website once, maybe twice, to check that business out. But a small business owner's website's not like a Facebook where people are going back every 10 minutes.
Yep.
So it's incumbent upon the business owner to have a lead magnet and to build a list. And the CRM tool facilitates this?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a great example, Next Generation Gyms, who have been a customer of ours for quite a few years now. They, so to your point, what is the purpose, I suppose, what is the purpose of someone coming to a website? So if they actually only come once a month, maybe to check their account balance, is that the only interaction they're going to have with your website? So yes, you can email that person, but then how do you build upon and get more customers through the door? So one of the great things, and I'm hopefully going to blow your mind again here, is that using that, we have a thing within marketing called lookalikes. So imagine you're one of my customers and you have certain, attributes about you as an individual, and you're a perfect profile of a customer for me.
Thank you.
I can use that data, which is all within my CRM, and I can actually then advertise to people who look like you on Facebook to then get more leads in the door. So I can utilize the data I already have and all of the rich information I have about you to use that in a segment and advertise to you on, it's not just social media. You can do it on Google, you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on Instagram, pretty much wherever you want to advertise now. But you're using that data and you're no longer just sending out a mass campaign and hoping that leads come through a door. These are going to be real primed, perfect profile customers for you. And NextGen are doing that amazingly. They're using lookalike audiences and they're reaching tens of thousands of people. And they could be extra potential customers for them.
These things, Jeremy, like lookalike, like communities, like these marketing cloud, are these like little plugins that a tool like Salesforce has, where you go, I'm going to now activate lookalikes?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that how it works?
So they're all, probably everyone's like, well, there's all these different things we could be doing now. Where do we start? They're all iterations of the platform. So like you said earlier, when you're ready for that, you can turn them on. So it might be back to the original comments around we need to define what the overall goal is. So is the overall goal, like in Mason's, trying to grow their subscriber list, but also share of wallet. So they're harvesting that data and obviously offering different products across the board, what's right for their existing customers. But they would look at what is our strategic goal to acquire new customers. So they might do something like lookalike. So they might turn this functionality on and say, hey, now it's time we need to activate this. Because we feel like we've done a lot of the above-the-line advertising, on bus stops, on buses, on TV, etc. And now we're ready to, use what we have in our data and start harvesting new customers through the door. Mm-hmm. But they are just features and functionalities you can turn on as and when you're ready. Don't do all this at once.
No.
Definitely don't do all at once, but concentrate on what is the actual goal at the beginning. What is your strategic directive? What are you trying to achieve as a company? And we as Salesforce help customers do that every day. We come out and consult with you guys and help you, what's important.
Okay, that's interesting because I sound like a broken record, but I've seen this for too long now where businesses are avoiding this kind of software because it's complicated. I mean, one of my keynotes to small business owners, I say, why are so many businesses struggling to create effective marketing? And they go, lack of time, lack of money, and lack of knowledge. It's too complicated. Mm-hmm. So we're here to kind of dispel that too complicated. But So Salesforce do offer the ability to come in and help you set up, get going. Yeah.
I mean, that's
you'd have to.
I mean, that's literally what we believe in. I mean, if our customers aren't successful, we aren't successful as a company. We don't grow. That's the reality of it. And we have, over 150,000 customers globally. A high percentage of those are SMBs.
Yeah.
So, we found a great way to help small companies get into business. A colleague of mine who's actually mentioned in the ebook, Adrian Towsey, he believes that when you're setting up a business, CRM should just be part of the foundation.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an add-on that happens in a couple of years' time. It should be foundational. But we actually come in and we consult and work out. It depends on the level of engagement. Some things take weeks and months at the bigger scale you are. But for small companies, we can come in and listen to what you want to achieve and actually make clear recommendations on what you need to be doing now in the next 3 to 6 months, and then in a year's time, what you're ready for. I mean, that's the reality. We'll help you grow with that. We'll consult with you on that. We'll make our recommendations.
I absolutely agree with the idea of, you're starting a business, then a CRM tool is foundational. What if you're 10 years old, and what if you've got 2,500 email addresses on that spreadsheet over there, and in your written diary you've got, must call John next Tuesday to talk about, going to the footy one week, or there's all this. Just, I guess, a harder exercise to integrate from the start.
It is and it isn't. I mean, you have all of that data. That's the good start.
Yes.
We commonly bring on people who have been living out of Excel sheets. That's the reality of small businesses. Yeah. So, I mean, that side of thing, getting the data into a system's pretty simple. All of the...
Is that a CSV file that you export?
Your favourite of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we take that data and we put it in a system, and straight away the customer can see all of their data in one screen, and they can go into the different customer profiles. In terms of the task management, CRM offers all of the, what do I need to do as my next best action? What follow-up do I need to do? What meetings do I have as a sales rep? All of that's tracked within the system. So those kind of things will need to be inputted. Unfortunately, there's no automated way to take off a bit of paper and put it in the system. But, to be honest... Once you get going on it, a couple of days into creating the tasks within the system, the reminders fly out of the system. You can communicate with emails through the actual CRM itself to your customers. Because all of their details are in there, you don't need to go to your bit of paper and say, hey, I need to call Tim next week. Let me just go into my Excel sheet. What's Tim's details? It's all within one interface for you.
So to that point, Jeremy, you see a lot of SMEs come in to Salesforce and take up the software. In fact, I think the report quoted somewhere where the majority have a great experience. There was something like, I can't remember the numbers, at 20% or something that don't, but working together with them, they end up having a good experience. What does a small business need to do to make their CRM experience a success?
I think it goes back to, again, what is it they actually want to achieve in terms of their goals? I mean, for me...
But I mean more of a mindset to make this... It's just part of what I do. I come to work, I make a coffee, I sit down and spend 10 minutes on the system at the start of the day, or...
No, it's forever on. So I use our system. We obviously use Salesforce to do everything I do. I'm always on the go. I'm always traveling. We were in San Fran a couple of weeks ago for our big user conference, Dreamforce. Back here in Melbourne today, I do everything on my mobile phone. Mm-hmm. I'm probably in our app probably 90% of the day. So it's part of the business. That's the way I think people should view CRM. It is the lifeblood a lot of the time of the sales business. It's a productivity tool. It increases productivity. If you go in once a day, things could be happening on your website, alerts could be coming through, and if you as a salesperson log in 10 minutes a day at the beginning of the day, you've missed out on an opportunity.
Right. Okay. So this is a system very mobile friendly. It's not just sitting on your big screen back at the office.
Nope.
Accessible from any screen, any device.
Yep.
Wow.
We have a saying, Mark Benioff, who's our CEO, that we all need to run our business from our phone. That's the reality of it. So I do pretty much 90% of my day on my phone. There's a few things I do because sometimes I like a bigger screen. But I could do it on my phone. There's nothing I couldn't do on a desktop that I couldn't do on my phone.
Brilliant. Jeremy, I think we've demystified the CRM acronym once and for all.
Yep.
This will be an episode for the ages. Go back to that episode if you want to know about CRM. How do people find out more, and can they get a hold of this report?
Yeah, so we've created a great report with a Deloitte around for sales and marketing challenges for SMBs, and a digital insights report for small businesses. There'll be the website we can share, I imagine, on the podcast. It's quite a long one at the moment, but I can share it, and we can obviously share it on the on your site itself. But there is an ebook for everyone to download.
Yeah, great.
There's a.
I'll tell you what I'll do to make it easy. People can go to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/394, which is the episode number, and I'll put a link to download it. Is that cool?
Amazing. Yep.
There we go.
Perfect.
Love it,
made
mate.
my life easy for me there. Thank you.
Hey, Jeremy, thank you, mate. I hope we see more small businesses adopting this technology into the future.
And good luck to everyone out there.
Well, there you go, team. Salesforce's Jeremy Smith. I trust you're a lot clearer on the whole CRM thing now. I hope so. I certainly am. You can try Salesforce free for 30 days without even giving them your credit card, which I quite like, over at salesforce.com. Plus, over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/394, you're going to find a link to the free report titled 6 Small Business Sales and Marketing Challenges and How to Turn Them into Opportunities. Coming up, I share my top 3 attention grabbers from that fireside chat with Jeremy Smith. Plus, I'm going to show you how to take your voicemail greeting to a whole new level. Here's a money-making tip from American Express member and Four Pillars Gin founder, Stu Gregor.
I, for the life of me, don't understand why a business won't accept Amex, because what you're potentially doing is knocking back customers who want to spend money on your product or your brand or your service or whatever it is. And I frankly don't understand it. If someone wants to give me their Amex and buy 10 bottles of gin, I tell you what, I'll take their Amex, thanks very much. You're potentially also denying yourself a big chunk of corporate business as well. You know, because a lot of sales guys, I know me in my own business, I use Amex. And if I go to, if I ring to make a booking at a restaurant or a bar or something, I say, do you accept Amex? And they say no, I go somewhere else. So they don't even know the business they're missing out on. It beggars belief. And I often find myself having these rather awkward conversations at the with a shopkeeper or a bar owner or a restaurateur saying, why wouldn't you take it? I'll pay you the extra. I'll pay 1.5, the credit card service fee or whatever you want. Take my money.
It's Business 101, really. Make it easy for people to give you money. Speaking of money, the American Express Business Explorer credit card comes with 50,000 bonus points every year, a low interest rate, and 2 points on every dollar you spend. Not to mention a couple of tickets to the very swish Amex Lounge at Sydney International Airport. Search Amex Business to find out more. New American Express card members only. Terms and conditions apply. Cash flow in business is everything, right? That's why I'm excited to introduce you to Prosper, Australia's #1 online lender to Aussie small businesses. But don't take my word for it. Small business owner Nioli Scobie of Truly Tea won the contract to supply the Opera House and needed to quickly ship tens of thousands of tea bags and 2 tons of loose leaf tea. Where was she going to get the money for that?
Well, I already supplied part of the Opera House, and then they offered me inside the Opera House, which is a very big deal, and I had to have a lot of stock on hand. They place an order, they want it the next day, and I wasn't going to say no to them. I'd knocked back too many opportunities in the past, so I phoned up a finance guy I trusted. He said, look, there's a new player on the market, Prosper, give them a call. I gave them a call, and within 24 hours, I had the money in the bank.
Prosper, Prospa. That's where she got the money. Apply online in 10 minutes to borrow up to $250,000. Call 1300 882 867 or visit prosper.com/Timbo. Righto, my top 3 attention grabbers from my chat with Jeremy Smith, thanks to American Express and Prosper. Attention grabber number 1. I like this quote from Jeremy, and I quote, "These days people are loyal to an experience, not a brand," close quote. Now, I just encourage you to use all the tools available to you to create a world-class customer experience, and you'll have more inquiry, you'll close more sales, and customers will talk about you to others all the time. You'll become a shareable business, because I agree, people buy experiences, not brands these days. Attention grabber number 2, personalised marketing. It's here, team, and it is ridiculously accessible. Your mass email blasts should start with the person's name, no doubt. Your sales staff should easily be able to react to client milestones, no doubt. And you should be able to see where each individual customer is in the buying journey with you. And a CRM tool is going to allow you to do that. Personalise, personalise, personalise. We've talked about it a lot on this show. And attention grabber number 3, It's time to throw away the spreadsheets and diary entries, teams, and step up to a CRM system like a Salesforce. If that still freaks you out, then by all means start with an email marketing tool like MailChimp and a customer support software like Zendesk, but don't leave it too long. You know, time to step up your marketing. If it scares you, great. It probably means it's the right thing to do. Remember, there's never been a better time to market your business. Embrace this technology and you will grow. I'd love to know what grabbed your attention. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/394.
What have you got to lose?
Oh, yes, indeedly doodly. It's time for one simple yet effective marketing idea that you can implement immediately, like now. One that's not going to cost you a fortune, might just generate you more awareness, more inquiry, and ultimately more sales. I call today's idea the friendly voicemail greeting hack. You know, I'm surprised at just how many business people's voicemail greetings make you feel like your call is a total inconvenience to them. You know, just in the last few days, I had one person tell me they didn't like checking voicemails as it took too much of their time. So could I text them instead? I couldn't. I was driving. I had another one that rattled on for 30 seconds, then gave me just 10 seconds to leave a message that would then be converted to text. You're kidding, aren't you? And yet another who sounded like he was having the worst day of his life. Hi, it's Pete here. Please leave a message. Oh, boy. Step it up, business owners. So here's my 3 steps to creating a friendly voicemail greeting. Step 1, take a listen to your existing greeting. I bet you haven't done that for a while. And then delete it, ready to record a fresh new one. Step 2, decide what you're going to say. You might even like to script it, but keep it brief. Mine goes something like, hi, Tim Reid here from the Small Business Big Marketing Show. I'm props putting the finishing touches on another episode to help grow that beautiful business of yours. So leave a message and we'll talk real soon. And step 3, find a quiet place. Your car's good. Take 3 deep breaths, put a smile on your dial, hit record. And here's the pro tip. Have all your customer-facing staff do this. Maybe give them a loose format to stick to, then permission to add their own personality to their greeting. That's my 3 steps to creating a friendly voicemail greeting. And you can head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/394 where you'll find a link to this post, plus some additional resources to bring this idea to life, including some funny voicemail message scripts and a link to purchase a signed copy of my book, The Boomerang Effect, that promises to get you in the right marketing mindset. So,
What have you got to lose?
Cooly dooly. You and I cover some serious marketing ground on this show. Have you listened to the chat I had with Jess and Erica from Frank Body Scrub? They recycle used coffee beans into a fancy body scrub and sell a lot of it using social media, using some rather revealing images of beautiful women.
I think sex sells. That's a given. That's a tested formula that people have been utilising for decades. I think the difference with Frank is that it's very relevant in that this is a product that you use on your body when you are naked. And I think sometimes that gets overlooked. Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense to us that we're talking about the female form and embracing, I guess, the naked body. Mm-hmm. We try to be cheeky and I think know where our boundaries are in terms of trying not to sexualize women, but more just not shame the body into something that you don't talk about.
If you've ever wondered how to use social media more effectively, then that is the episode for you. It's 4 years old now, but Jess's and Erica's insights are as relevant as ever. You'll find a link to that full interview over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/394, or go ahead and subscribe free on your favourite podcast app. I'd love to hear from you. Hit the contact button over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, where you can email me, connect with me on social media, and you can grab a signed copy of The Boomerang Effect. Good Christmas present, really. Or a good present, full stop, for a business owner that you know. Thanks to American Express Business Explorer credit card for making this show possible. It's the credit card that ensures your business expenses reward you. Gotta love that. Search Amex Business. And be sure to check out Prospa, Prospa, which is Australia's, or who are Australia's #1 online lender to small businesses. You can quickly apply online for loans up to 250 large ones, get a fast decision, and in most cases receive the funding in under 24 hours. Visit prosper.com/Timbo, or you can give them a buzz, 1300 882 867. Tell them Timbo sent you. If you love the Small Business Big Marketing Show, and I hope you do, then thanks for listening, first and foremost. And go ahead and pay it forward. Let another business owner know about it by grabbing their phone and downloading the show for them into their podcast app. They will love you forever. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid, always have been, always will be. Thanks for tuning in. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.